What if, what if everything you've been told about learning a new skill, especially something like a language, is actually the exact reason you completely freeze up when it's time to actually use it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know the feeling.
Right. You spend years studying, memorizing grammar rules, doing those endless flashcards in your room, and you feel totally prepared.
Completely ready, yeah.
But then you step up to actually speak to a native speaker, and your mind just, goes totally blank.
It's a really profound, incredibly frustrating kind of paralysis because you have all this stored knowledge, right? This massive database of vocabulary and grammar.
Yeah, but you can't reach it.
Exactly. The second you need to pull from it in real time, the system just crashes. You open your mouth and nothing comes out.
Which is exactly why, for today's deep dive, we are exploring the hidden mechanics of language fluency. We want to figure out why that neurological system crash happens to you and, more importantly, how to actually bypass it.
And we have some really incredible source material to help us do that today.
We do. We're looking at two really fascinating companion pieces. First, a transcript from a popular YouTube video by English podcast, Easy English Talks. And alongside that, we actually have the behind-the-scenes, viral script blueprint that created that exact video. It's titled The 99 Sentences Blueprint for Fluent English Speech.
Which is such a rare and revealing combination. I mean, we get to analyze the outward-facing educational strategy, sure, but we also get to dissect the underlying psychological mechanics that the creators use to literally, force the viewer's brain to absorb the material.
Right. So the mission today is to uncover whether bypassing traditional grammar rules entirely in favor of rote learning, a hyper-specific, tiny set of phrases, is actually the ultimate shortcut to fluency. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good.
Before we look at this radical alternative, we kind of need to understand the failure of the traditional method first. Why do we experience that freeze?
Well, the central argument in our sources is that despite years of studying, learners freeze because their brains are basically trapped doing something called translating in their head.
Yeah.
And neurologically speaking, translating in your head is just the ultimate enemy of natural speech.
Wow, the ultimate enemy.
Yeah, let's break down what's actually happening in your brain. When you learn a language through traditional grammar rules and vocabulary lists, you're storing that information as declarative knowledge.
Okay, declarative knowledge, meaning what exactly?
It's the same part of your brain that remembers, the capital of France or the date of a historical battle. It's factual.
So it's sitting in a filing cabinet, basically.
Exactly. And when you're in a conversation, your brain is just furiously rummaging through that filing cabinet.
Just pulling out papers.
Right. You hear a sentence in English, you translate it into your native language to understand it, then you formulate your response in your native language. Then you translate that response back into English, retrieving the vocabulary from the cabinet, applying the rules, checking for subject-verb agreement.
Oh my gosh, that sounds exhausting.
It is. And only after all of that cognitive heavy lifting do you actually try to speak. It's an incredibly slow cognitive loop.
I mean, it's like you're trying to dance to a really fast-paced song on a crowded floor.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Right, but instead of just feeling the rhythm and stepping naturally, you stop before every single move to do mental calculus.
Yeah.
You're trying to calculate the exact angle of your knee, the velocity of your foot, the trajectory of your swing. By the time you've computed the mathematically perfect dance step, the beat has already passed.
The song is over.
Exactly. The song has changed, and you've probably stepped squarely on your partner's toes. You're just too slow for the real-time environment.
That is a great way to put it, because human working memory has really strict limits.
Right.
Cognitive load theory tells us that our active working memory can only juggle about 4 to 7 pieces of information at any given time.
Wait, only 4 to 7? That's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're using up those precious slots to remember a verb conjugation, recall a vocabulary word, and, translate a noun, your working memory is instantly maxed out.
So there's no room left for anything else.
Zero bandwidth left to actually pay attention to the conversation, read the other person's body language, or just exist in the moment.
And we have to add the emotional weight to that cognitive overload, right? Because the sources talk about this. You aren't doing this mental calculus in a vacuum.
No, absolutely not.
You're doing it while battling this paralyzing worry. You're stressing over making a mistake, you're intensely self-conscious about your accent, and you're terrified people are judging you.
Precisely. And in linguistics, this is often called the affective filter.
The affective filter.
Yeah, when your anxiety spikes, It literally acts as a neurological wall that prevents you from accessing the language skills you actually do have.
Wow.
So between the overloaded working memory and the spiked affective filter, your brain just initiates a protective shutdown. And you stay quiet.
So since translating in our heads and, doing mental calculus on the dance floor is clearly the enemy of fluency, the alternative approach we're looking at today is pretty radical.
It really is.
This is where we get into the 99 sentences strategy. And the core premise here is wild. The claim is that you don't need thousands of words to be fluent. You just need 99 powerful, pre-constructed sentences to handle almost any daily conversation.
Yeah, it covers your morning routine, work, social life, expressing feelings.
The whole day, basically.
Right. And the underlying philosophy is a massive shift. The secret to fluency isn't knowing more words, it's being completely comfortable with the right ones.
Okay, but
it's about training the brain to skip that conscious translation phase entirely and just think in English.
Now, I have to push back on this pretty hard. 99 sentences. The English language has over 1 million words. Native speakers use tens of thousands of them constantly.
Sure.
I just can't help but feel like having just 99 sentences in your pocket isn't actually fluency. It sounds like a conversational survival kit, Aren't we just teaching people how to order a coffee, find the bathroom, and then falsely calling it fluency?
Well, what's fascinating here is how this approach forces us to redefine what fluency actually feels like in the early stages.
Okay, redefine it how?
You're right, 99 sentences won't let you debate complex philosophy. But this strategy isn't about vocabulary size. It's a psychological and neurological hack designed to bypass that affective filter we just talked about.
Bypassing the anxiety wall.
Exactly. By giving you prepackaged, perfectly constructed sentences, they're completely removing the burden of sentence construction from your working memory.
Okay, but a conversation is a two-way street, right? I can memorize my perfectly rehearsed line, but what happens when the native speaker replies with a curveball?
Right, you feel like the script falls apart.
Yeah, I'm stranded. I've used my one line and now I'm done.
You'd think so. But here is where cognitive load theory actually works in your favor. Because you didn't have to spend any mental bandwidth constructing your sentence.
Because it was pre-packaged.
Right. Because you delivered it automatically, your working memory is completely free.
Oh.
You actually have the cognitive space to listen closely to their curveball, process their tone, look for context clues. When you aren't obsessing over your own grammar, your comprehension of the other person just skyrockets.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. If I'm not doing calculus to build my sentence, I can actually watch my partner's feet on the dance floor.
Exactly.
But I still struggle with the idea that memorizing entire sentences is the way to go. Like, why not just learn the components?
Well, it comes down to a concept called lexical chunking.
Lexical chunking.
Yeah, native speakers don't actually build sentences word by word from scratch most of the time. We speak in prefabricated blocks or chunks.
Oh, interesting. So we're basically doing this naturally anyway.
Completely naturally. And when you learn a phrase as a single unbreakable chunk, your brain treats it as one item in your working memory, rather than 6 individual words and 3 grammar rules.
Wow, so you save all those slots.
Exactly. The goal is to break the freeze. Once the freeze is broken and you string a few chunks together successfully, your confidence spikes, the anxiety drops, and true spontaneous fluency can actually begin to develop.
All right, I'm with you. So if the strategy is to master these 99 specific chunks, the next logical question for you listening right now is how you actually internalize them.
Right, how do you get them to stick?
Exactly. How do you make them so automatic that your working memory isn't involved at all? And this brings us to the actual instructional mechanics of the video and the viral blueprint, which rely heavily on muscle memory.
Yes. The directive in the instructional video introduces a method they call double practice.
Double practice.
The rule is really simple. You listen carefully to the speaker, and then you repeat the entire sentence out loud 2 times.
Out loud?
Always out loud. The stated goal here isn't intellectual comprehension. The goal is to, quote, help your mouth remember the words.
So they are treating language as a physical, muscular habit.
Absolutely.
I can already hear people listening to this thinking, wait a minute, repeat after me. Isn't that just rote memorization?
Yeah, it sounds like an old school classroom.
Right. Haven't we spent the last 20 years in education deciding that mindlessly repeating things is a terrible, outdated way to learn?
It's a totally fair objection, but we have to distinguish between memorizing facts and building procedural memory.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Well, repeating a grammar rule over and over is rote memorization. It stays in that declarative filing cabinet we talked about.
Right.
But physically speaking, a phrase out loud until your tongue, your lips, and your vocal cords can form the sounds without conscious thought, that is procedural memory.
Oh, like riding a bike.
Exactly like riding a bike, or typing on a keyboard, or playing a chord on a guitar. You don't consciously think about where the key is on your keyboard, right?
No, my fingers just know where it is.
Exactly, your fingers just know. And that's what we want for your mouth.
Help your mouth remember the words. That's so completely physical. And this is where the second document we have, that viral script blueprint, is just so revealing.
Oh, it really is.
It has this highly engineered section called the engagement trigger that hits right around the 1-minute mark of the video. The script breaks the fourth wall and literally commands the viewer. It says, repeat after me. Don't think, just speak.
Don't think, just speak.
Roar.
That is the exact antithesis of how traditional language classes operate.
Because in a classroom, you're always told to think.
Right. The unspoken rule is always think very carefully before you speak so you don't make an embarrassing error. But the blueprint is actively trying to shut down your conscious, over-analytical brain.
And it does it through the format, too, not just the content. The blueprint outlines very specific stylistic choices designed to literally force this engagement.
Yeah, the editing is intense.
It mandates fast cuts, on-screen subtitles that highlight word by word, and visual zooms that push in during the sentence practice section. I mean, the medium is the message here.
Exactly. And it raises a great point about modern educational content. You know, the pacing is engineered to outrun your ability to overthink.
Outrun your ability to overthink. I love that.
Because if there's a long pause in the video, your brain has time to start transloading again. By utilizing that rapid-fire pacing and the fast cuts, the format denies you the time to translate. It forces you into a state of immediate reaction.
And the script even dictates the exact pacing of the intro to maximize retention. It's wild. 0 to 15 seconds is the hook. You don't need grammar. Bam.
Just right in.
Then 15 to 35 seconds establishes the problem. You freeze because you're translating. 35 to 55 seconds provides the antidote. Learn 99 sentences.
And then boom, the rapid fire practice starts before you can even click away. It is designed to physically pull you into the exercise.
Yes. And the creators explicitly identify the purpose behind this rapid, thoughtless repetition in their blueprint.
They do. They called it the psychological push.
The psychological push.
It's the promise to the viewer that if they practice these specific phrases daily, the brain will eventually just give up on translating.
Because it doesn't need to anymore.
Right. The repetition creates a neural pathway so thick and well-traveled that the speech becomes entirely automatic. You bypass the conscious mind entirely.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because to prove why this rote learning muscle memory approach is superior to staring at flashcards, we have to look at the actual phrases they are choosing for these 99 sentences.
That selection is very deliberate.
They aren't just giving you a list of high-frequency words. They are teaching pragmatics. They're teaching you social rhythm and tone.
Absolutely.
Like, let's look at some examples from the source. Instead of teaching the word hungry, the sentence you memorize is, I am absolutely starving right now.
Right. If you just know the isolated word hungry, you have to figure out how to modify it to fit the situation.
You have to add words to show how hungry you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I am absolutely starving right now comes preloaded with scale and urgency. It's a cohesive linguistic chunk that instantly communicates to the listener not just that you want food, but that getting food is the immediate priority.
It has emotional weight built right into it.
It does.
Or take situational context. Like, if you want to tell someone you're coming to meet them, you could painstakingly construct a sentence like, I am currently traveling in your direction.
Which is grammatically flawless.
Flawless. But you sound like a robot wrote it.
You really do.
Instead, the chunk they teach is, I am already on my way there.
That is a crucial distinction. I am already on my way there is the natural idiom. It conveys a highly specific set of circumstances that you've left your origin point, you're in transit, and you're actively moving toward their location.
Right.
By memorizing the chunk, you don't have to invent the phrasing. You just deploy the tool that native speakers already use.
It's the difference between knowing the dictionary definition of words and knowing the actual rhythm of human interaction. And my absolute favorite example from their list is, It is really no big deal.
Oh, that's a great one.
The video explains you use this when someone apologizes to you for a small mistake. It's not just teaching you English, it's teaching you a social de-escalator.
A social de-escalator. I like that.
Yeah, it's giving you the tool to politely forgive someone and smooth over an awkward moment without having to think about it.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what we are seeing is the transfer of cultural context.
Cultural context.
Yes, words in isolation are sterile, but these linguistic chunks are loaded with social cues. When you internalize a phrase like, "it is really no big deal," as a single unbreakable unit, you are absorbing the cultural norm of casual forgiveness.
You're learning the vibe, not just the words.
Exactly. As the source says, you aren't just learning English, you are living it. You're adopting the conversational posture of a native speaker.
Adopting the posture. That is exactly what this is. Because if you have these 99 postures ready to deploy, you can navigate the friction of an entire day.
You really can.
You have a posture for asking for clarification. Could you repeat that one more time? You have a posture for expressing disbelief. Are you being serious right now?
Or for exhaustion, like they teach, I am totally exhausted after work today.
Exactly. Or gracefully bowing out of a tense argument. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree. You don't have to build complex social shields from scratch while under pressure. They're handed to you, fully assembled.
And that fully assembled nature is exactly why the don't think, just speak methodology of the viral video is so vital.
Why is that?
Because you don't want to be analyzing the grammar of, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree, while you're in the middle of a tense disagreement at work.
Oh, definitely not. Your affective filter would be through the roof.
Exactly. You just want your muscle memory to take over so you can navigate that social friction smoothly and professionally. The chunk does the heavy lifting for you.
So what does this all mean? We started by talking about that terrifying freeze, standing there on the dance floor, your brain completely locked up, unable to speak despite knowing all the rules.
Right.
We've looked at the immense cognitive load of translating in your head, juggling working memory, battling that affective filter, and trying to do calculus to take a single step.
It's a lot.
And we've unpacked this viral strategy that promises to bypass all of that through the sheer unthinking repetition of 99 highly contextual, prefabricated sentences.
So the overarching takeaway from both the educational video and the blueprint behind it is that consistency and automation are the answers.
Consistency and automation.
The material explicitly states that consistency is the only bridge between where you are and where you want to be.
That's a great quote.
It is. Whether you're learning a new language or frankly picking up any complex new skill, the lesson remains the same. Overanalysis leads directly to paralysis.
Wow.
Building automatic procedural habits through daily, physical practice is the only way to unlock real confidence.
You have to stop doing the calculus and just let the muscle memory take over until these phrases feel as natural as breathing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fear of speaking disappears when you realize you don't have to invent a perfect, wholly original sentence on the spot. You just have to press play on a chunk you already know.
It's a really profound shift in perspective. You're moving from a mindset of constant, stressful, real-time creation to a mindset of comfortable, natural deployment.
Which brings up a really fascinating thought to leave you with today.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've spent this entire deep dive looking at how rote learning 99 preset, repeated chunks can make someone sound completely fluid, natural, and fluent in a foreign language.
Right.
But if you really think about it, how much of our everyday speech in our native language is actually just us repeating our own set of 99 familiar scripts?
Oh, wow. That's a great point.
Like when you're chatting with a coworker by the coffee machine or telling a friend about your weekend, are you really crafting entirely original thoughts from scratch?
Probably not.
Or are you just relying on your own deeply ingrained muscle memory to get through the dance without stepping on anyone's toes? Something to think about the next time you open your mouth to speak.